Welcome back, class. This will be a short segment on the electrical panel. Hopefully I'll jitter less and hopefully the light won't be too dim. What we're looking at here is basically your electric panel. This particular panel is a Square D type panel, that's the brand name, and it's a 200 amp panel that has 40 circuit openings. As you can see, this particular panel has a great deal of circuits in it because there's a lot of circuits in this house. On the right, you'll see the markings that would indicate which circuit operates which room or segment of a room. It's very important that all of your particular circuits would be marked on the panel so you can know which particular circuit to turn off if you're going to be working in the family room, such as installing a new switch or putting in a ceiling fan or what have you. So it's very important to know where all of your circuits are located. In this particular panel, we've really only got, if you look at the bottom, we've got 5 spares. I believe I've added 4 or 5 circuits additional to the panel since I've lived here, mostly for additional outlets in the basement and some in the bathroom and one for a refrigerator down here. So it's important to note that you normally do not need to open this panel unless, again, you are going to install new circuits, which you can see this is all done with conduit. I think we had mentioned earlier that some work is done in the county with Romex. We'll talk about that in class. But so you understand, basically, this metal pipe is basically connected with a series of fittings, and they run to various locations in the basement, and they would feed outlets, and then wire is pulled through them. We won't get into too much on that on the video. Mostly, I want you to see what a panel looks like. You can see the 6 screws there, so if you had to remove the cover to install a new circuit, and then you would go ahead and you would knock out one of these spare areas down there, and you would install a 15 or 20 amp breaker, and we'll talk about that in class, the difference, and what is the difference between a 15 and a 20 amp. And basically, you would run new copper or new EMT, as it's called, electrical metallic tubing, to the location that you want a new circuit to go into. It's very important that you understand that if you have to shut off a circuit, you need to come right to the panel. You find the specific location on the markings. You go to the panel and you turn it off completely to the right. If for some reason you should ever trip a circuit, that is, you have a short circuit for some reason, you short out or you overuse the particular circuit and it trips, you need to first turn the circuit off and then turn it on. You just don't go from trip, which is a center position on the breaker, to on. You have to turn it completely off. We can talk about that in class again. But again, I'd just like to show you the panel. I'm not going to remove this because A, it's a little bit of work, and B, I'm not sure you'll get much out of it, but the electricity is all hot behind this panel. Now, one other point is the main breaker, that's up here. If you were to throw that, that would shut off power to the whole entire box and all of these circuits. I cannot think of any time where you would want to do that. And of course, if the basement was flooded, it's a whole new story because, needless to say, you might have to have the power shut off from the exterior. But that's for another discussion. So just a quick view of the panel, what it should look like, the importance of the markings, to understand what each of these circuits are. Some of them you'll notice are like double circuits, and that would be, for instance, for air conditioning on the right, and then the lower one there that's a double circuit is for a electric oven. And of course, you can have electric range and so on and so forth. But we'll talk about that further in class, but I thought you would just like to see what a panel looks like and the importance of having it marked properly.